Anybody seen the 1967 interview with Paul McCartney about his admission to taking LSD? Broadcast here in the UK June the 19th, 1967, and the interviewer was more or less saying, don't you think you've got a responsibility to your fans in admitting to taking LSD? And Paul just fired it straight back and said, well, you've got the power to put this out. You're asking me the question, I'm honest, so it's up to you now. You can say, we won't put this out, nobody knows. You've asked me the question. And I thought Paul was absolutely brilliant in this interview, and I think it's possibly my favourite, or one of my favourite interviews by any of the Beatles, and certainly my favourite Paul McCartney interview, because of his honesty, and he was relaxed and his guard was down, and he was just great. I just loved the interview. It's filmed in the back garden of his house in Cavendish Avenue in London, and it was actually a response to a magazine article which came out a couple of days before, on June the 17th, 1967. It was Life magazine, and Paul did mention the fact that he and the Beatles had taken LSD, and so that the ITN news channel decided to make a good interview, let's get this splashed all over the place, which is what happened. It was all over the front pages of the newspapers, you know. It's like Paul said, you know, you keep this quiet, nobody knows. And he isn't responsible, you know, Paul's not the responsible one, it's the media. Paradoxically, you know, it was pushed back to them. So I totally agree with Paul. I don't agree with the drug taking, you know, we all know that's not a good idea. But this is how it is today, you know, the media have got so much power, and they don't have to spread news what could have a negative effect on us, you know, it's not necessary. But they still keep doing it, and Paul was bang on the money there, you know, you've got the power. Anyway, I won't babble on anymore. I'll show you the interview after I've finished. A couple of minutes long, and then there's another shorter interview with Paul from around about the same time, again reflecting back on what he said on that interview. So I'll just pass you on over to Paul now. Thanks for watching.
Paul, how often have you taken LSD?
About 4 times.
And where did you get it from?
Well, you know, I mean, if I was to say where I got it from, you know, it's illegal and everything. It's silly to say that.
Don't you believe that this was a matter which you should have kept private?
But the thing is, you know, that I was asked a question by a newspaper, and the decision was whether to tell a lie or to tell him the truth, you know. I decided to tell him the truth. But I really didn't want to say anything, you know, because if I had my decision, you know, if I had it my way, I wouldn't have told anyone, you know, because I'm not trying to spread the word about this. But the man from the newspaper is the man from the mass medium, you know. I'll keep it a personal thing. If he does too, you know, if he keeps it quiet. But he wanted to spread it, so it's his responsibility, you know, for spreading it, not mine.
But you're a public figure, and you said it in the first place, and you must have known that it would have made the newspapers.
Yes, but to say it, you know, is only to tell the truth. I'm telling the truth, you know. I don't know what everyone's so angry about.
Well, do you think you have now encouraged your fans to take drugs?
I don't think it'll make any difference, you know. I don't think my fans are going to take drugs just because I did, you know. But the thing is, that's not the point anyway, you know. I was asked whether I had or not. And then from then on, the whole bit about how far it's going to go and how many people it's going to encourage is up to the newspapers and up to you, you know, on television. I mean, you're spreading this now at this moment. This is going into all the homes, you know, in Britain. And I'd rather it didn't, you know. But you're asking me the question. You want me to be honest. I'll be honest, you know.
But as a public figure, surely you've got a responsibility to lots and
No,
lots
it's
of
you've
teenagers.
got the responsibility. You've got the responsibility not to spread this now. You know, I'm quite prepared to keep it as a very personal thing, if you will too. If you'll shut up about it, I will. Yeah, you see, this is the danger of anyone like me ever opening my mouth, you know. I can say a thing, and you can come back at me and say, well, look, you shouldn't have said you've had sex, Paul, because it's going to make everyone break out in spots and everyone going to run around having sex, you know. But if you ask me, then I'm going to say, yeah, I have, you know. And if you ask me about drugs, I'm going to say, yeah, I have, because I'm not going to tell you a lie. It doesn't do me any good, doesn't do you any good. I personally believe it won't really make people leap around taking drugs, because people are like you and they're like me, you know. If they want to try it, they'll try it. If they don't want to, they won't.